The Simpsons Road Rage, released in 2001 for the PlayStation 2, Xbox, and Gamecube. In 2003, there was a Game Boy Advance port released, and it's actually pretty fun and good looking too. The Game Boy Advance version looks a lot like F-Zero style graphics. The gameplay is the same as the console counterparts, which brings me to my next point. This game is essentially Crazy Taxi with a Simpsons skin on top of it, and that isn't a bad thing though, as it creates a really enjoyable game. In fact, Sega thought the gameplay was so similar that Sega attempted to sue Radical Entertainment and EA Games for patent infringement. The case was settled outside of court, so no one knows what deal was struck. During an E3 event, there was a prototype available to play, and it is now accessible online to download. In a lot of ways, it's actually better than the base game, such as all the worlds being connected. Also, the graphics are slightly better, they're a little bit more cartoony, and the character select screen is completely different. There are a lot of changes that you can view here. Just pause the video. As reviews go, it actually didn't fare too well. Some highs and a lot of lows. Some critics claimed that the gameplay was a bare bones Crazy Taxi and the graphics sucked. As for me though, I find the graphics great. It looks a lot like the cartoon. There are 6 playable districts: Evergreen Terrace, Entertainment District, Springfield Dam, Nuclear Power Plant, Downtown, Springfield Mountains. And there are 17 main characters and 4 bonus holiday characters. You can play Halloween Bart.
I'm Bart Simpson. Who the hell are you?
Thanksgiving Marge.
Everyone better stay out of my way.
Christmas Apu.
Driving this car is more dangerous than the night shift at the Quickie Mart.
And New Year's Krusty.
I mean Missoulians.
There are 4 game modes present in the game. Road Rage, which allows a player to earn money but has a time limit for each level. Then Sunday Drive, which is a practice version of Road Rage. It's identical except that there's no money and no time limit. Mission Mode gives the player 10 missions outside of regular gameplay, kinda like hit 10 light poles with the school bus. And then Head to Head, which is a 2-player mode where each player aims to earn more money than the other by dropping off the most passengers. Whoever has the passenger needs to also stay away from the other player, because if they hit your car, they get the passenger. And this is actually extremely fun to play. Let's get down and dirty and talk about some frame rate. The Gamecube runs at a solid 60 frames per second with very minimal dips. I'd say 95% of the time it's 60 frames. Next, the Xbox. It too is 60 frames per second with no drops, as far as I can tell. It plays perfect. As for the PlayStation 2, it runs anywhere from 40 to 60 frames. I'd say it sticks to the high 40s, low 50s most of the time, which isn't bad at all, just not as good. Some graphical comparisons now. This is too bright. This is slightly too bright, and that's a little bit too dark. The PlayStation 2 has some artifact issues, the only instance of this that I've found. The Xbox offers a better draw distance. The trees are visible while not on the other two. Next, the PlayStation 2's trees pop in, and the cubes don't even pop in till much later. I didn't notice while playing, but when I was editing, I saw that the PlayStation 2 has some screen tearing. And I do hate some screen tearing, but to be fair, I never even noticed it, so I guess it's not that bad. The Xbox's chain link fence is very clear. Then there's this blurry mess, while this one, well, it's blurry too, just a little less blurry. Moving along, the letters on the Sony box are non-existent while the other two are clearly visible. Take a look at the PlayStation 2's building texture. No lines like the other two have. And after murdering some mascots, the lines do become visible eventually, but barely. Also, the spaceship on the PS2 never casts a shadow from the back fin spoiler thing the entire level like the other two do. Then we look at these cable lines. I think they're cable lines. Are those cable lines? Anyway, even the furthest one on the Xbox looked better than the PlayStation 2's. Now, I'm not trying to hate on the PlayStation 2. I love the PS2. I'm just saying what I see. Just as before, the Sony box offers some better draw distance when compared to the Cube. This one has to almost be at the street before the trees even pop in. The Xbox is very foggy, but the trees are there. If I adjust the contrast, you can see them. Barely, but they're there. On this mission, I can't decide if I prefer the PlayStation 2 street or not. It's crisper, but also more pixelated. What do you guys think? Which street is best here? I will say the PS2 does seem to suffer more on this level. The aliasing is really bad. Look at these buildings. Very jaggy. The banner is more crisp on the PS2 and Xbox, and it's pretty blurry on the Cube. This is odd because it seems that the Sony box and Gamecube keep swapping on who's more blurry. More on draw distance, the Xbox shows this sign in the far distance, but not on the other two. Also take note the lack of detail on the Gamecube here versus the PlayStation 2. PS2 and Gamecube get the sign popped in around the same time. And moving closer, you can see on the PlayStation 2 that it's a fence, but on the Gamecube it's a solid wall. Then swapping places again, the PlayStation has the blurriest building, not the Gamecube this time. It's obvious the Xbox version is the best one. The bus offers so much better anti-aliasing, but honestly, they all play identical, and playing these at different times, you'll never even notice a difference between them. Everything I talked about, I was just nitpicking. It took me a long time to find stuff to even talk about. Just play any version, you'll be just fine. Well, that's all I have for you today, so thank you so much for watching, and like always, please subscribe, leave a comment, give me a like, and share this video to help this channel grow. Thanks again, and take it easy.